Good morning to you. Hope you set your alarm or we're waking you up. It is R&R in the morning and McCarthy Friday edition.
Good morning, good morning.
AA Best Bail Bonds will bring to you directly head coach of the Dallas Cowboys, Mike McCarthy. He goes through his Friday car wash. We're the only affiliate outside of Dallas that gets the coach.
Talk to him. Preach.
We'll have the game for you on Sunday. Full pre 3:30 kickoff. It is the marquee matchup. The Cowboys travel to Kansas City. It's a battle of barbecue. It's a battle of burgers. It's a battle of quarterbacks.
How you feel about Whataburger being up there? Does it bother you?
You know what?
I know they're in Chicago now. That used to be our thing. Does it bother you?
I'm willing to share.
Me too.
And,
it's not that big of a deal to me.
And if by chance I should travel to Kansas City and desire a good burger, I'll tell you the reason I have zero problem with it is I spent some time in Orlando, moved to Orlando for a gig, and there was a Whataburger less than a mile away from where we lived in Orlando, and it felt like a little bit of Texas just a mile away from that encampment in Oviedo, Florida. So no, I'm all about it. It's like the Apostle Paul, man. Go spread the word.
Yeah.
Preach the word. You can take it to the netherworlds, the flyover countries.
Right.
But it's also a battle of barbecue, man. Beef versus pork. That sweet Kansas City sauce versus
Kansas
South
City's
Texas
pretty
mesquite.
good, Rob.
No, I agree. No, I'm not. I take zero away, but we don't do pig. We do beef.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I can see you making some nice spare ribs, though. I think you know how to do spare ribs.
In my family, we have all over the years taken on some our particular level expertise. We do certain things, and when it comes to pork ribs, that's my brother. My brother.
Okay, that's his specialty.
Full respect. He does ribs better than me. Minix is a big pork rib fan.
Yeah, he is.
I don't do them all that often. It's my go-to is normally beef.
And beef ribs are tough. Beef ribs are harder to do than spare ribs.
They are. They take a bit longer.
Yeah.
But, if you do a great one, especially if you're doing those big spare ribs, those big beef ribs.
Ooh.
I mean, there's not a lot of difference between that and brisket. So you kind of got to decide. Sometimes the better bang for your buck is a brisket than a beef rib.
Great point.
Although it's nice it looks good to have that big bone. Well,
your juice is flowing for Sunday. Mine are.
Oh, man. We're going to ask Coach, and I'm curious how you measure what this game means. Because it is just one game, week 11. There's a long way to go. So certainly you can't predicate your season on its outcome, whether you win or you lose. Mm-hmm. But you do want to know where you are. And, part of and some of the witchcraft of coaching as we get toward the 3-quarter point in the season is maintaining momentum. Is, that old, you don't want to peak too soon axiom. And this is one of these measuring stick kind of games that can tell you where you are in the momentum scale. But I've always been curious, and we're going to ask Coach when he gets with us here in just a couple of minutes, is how do you measure that, and how do you regulate it? How do you keep from running too hot after the drubbing from last week?
As far as like after what they did to Atlanta?
There are two distinct possibilities that come out of this game from the press's point of view. Now, what goes on in the locker room is, almost polar opposite from what goes on in the press. I mean, they're looking at different things and they're focusing on different stuff. But when we see this, if they go out and they smoke they play every way possible against Kansas City to beat them. They run the ball. They do the things that we think are going to be the real keys to victory. They bracket Mahomes. Then you suddenly have two really big wins and a team that's obviously going to be considered the best in the NFL or right there. How do you maintain that? Or do you dial it back? And how do you dial it back so your team doesn't run too hot? And is that even possible?
I don't think you dial it back. I think it's pedal to the metal.
But that's a long sprint. You kind of close in the last 20 meters. You don't turn on the afterburners at 50 if you're running the 100. There's this maintenance and then there's this explosion that I've always been curious about, because when you're in the middle of the arc, the plot that is a season, you can see things start to move. And sometimes you're doing things a little early. Sometimes you're doing things a little bit quicker than you expected. And how do you maintain that all the way through the playoffs? That's why they get paid the big money.
True.
Tyron Smith is limited in practice. That's going to be a real key over the next couple of weeks.
They've been fine. They've been okay without him. I mean, Denver was weird, but Atlanta, they seem like they hit. And Coach told us that last week. Like, you got a week. Tyron still had a week. So,
and all in all, as Coach predicted, Terrence Steele, more practice, better output.
Look better. Yeah.
So the expectation is run the ball security.
Heck yeah.
Did Atlanta get better over the last 4 days? It feels like they did.
Right?
Feels like the national media, they're pretty impressed with that New England Patriot win.
Yeah, you know what? They've become the darling. It's almost like people feel bad for Belichick. Like, man, him and Tom did so many great things together. Tom went one, and now we're kind of, because we want the storyline, the national media is all over the Patriots. Like when the Cowboys demolished the Falcons, it's the Falcons. Calm down, Cowboy fans.
Right.
The Patriots do it, and they're the best team of all time. Now that's the first thing I told you when I walked in here today. As a diehard Cowboy fan, that would drive me up a wall. We demolish them, no biggie, whatever. Patriots do it. Oh my gosh, they're going to the Super Bowl. Mac Jones is the best rookie quarterback we've ever seen. Like, what?
And the praise for average. The praise for just management.
Cinderella. They're the Cinderella story. They're Valparaiso. New England is Valparaiso this year.
Mike McCarthy is due here any minute. We get him through via AA Best Bail Bonds every week. Getting ready for Kansas City. Injuries on top of mind, though, while we still are dealing with Gregory and D-Law on injured reserve, and there is some expectation that 21-day practice window might open up pretty soon, but no movement made this week to see if DeMarcus Lawrence or Gregory will be returning anytime soon. But adequate fills on the others, though. Dorrance Armstrong comes back from a couple of dings and plays particularly well. It's time. Let's dig into it. Let's welcome on the show head coach of your Dallas Cowboys, Mike McCarthy. Welcome aboard, Coach. How's the car wash going for you this morning? You having a good Friday?
I'm having a great Friday. Shoot, it's always a good Friday when I hear you.
Oh, come on, Coach. You go on.
Did I had to stumble on it? Did I?
Morning, Coach.
Good morning, Rujay.
Hey, Coach, I got to ask. It's the Chiefs week. We're going to get to Chiefs, but I got to go back to last week. I need you to be honest with me, man. 34-3, and you decide to go for 2. What did Atlanta do to you, Coach? Or y'all just working on y'all's game? Like, I mean, I'm being serious, but I'm being fun. Like, what was going on?
Just had a great 2-point play. I couldn't wait to get it off the call sheet. No, I mean, there's a mindset. That's all. I mean, and it's still the first half, and you come in a halftime with the lead, and then you come out in the second half, and we just wanted to stay aggressive. I think you can really get yourself in a jam sometimes. I've been part of big leads before, where you slow down, and then in the fourth quarter, the opponent creeps back into it. And, I think like a lot of times, and these are all good conversations. You talk about, hey, take this player out, take that player out. Trust me, we're talking about the same thing. But I've had it backfire on me where now your special teams players are playing a ton. They're playing on both sides of the ball, and you end up getting guys hurt in the fourth quarter. So, I just wanted to it was more of a mindset that we were going to go after it there for, especially with the lead. But I didn't want to pull back until we were well into that third quarter, approaching the fourth quarter. So it was more of a mindset. It had nothing to do with who was on the other sideline at all. So that's really the facts of it.
And there's only 32 head coaches. Dan Quinn was a head coach. You talk about giving him the game ball last Sunday.
Yeah, I mean, Dan Quinn has been, outstanding, since he's been here, and frankly, I think Dan did a great job all week. He just, he didn't blink. You would have never known that we were playing his former team, and but we all knew, you could feel it. It was obviously important to him, and I just wanted to recognize him for what he's done for us, and the impact that he's made, here in Dallas. So, and I just use his words. He didn't think he needed that until he got it, and definitely something that I think we all need. And it's just, I think it's human nature. It's part of the competitive spirit that we all have in this business. And I think anytime you can recognize a player or a coach, because there's a lot of fine men here that don't get the recognition. And I preach humility. I live it, and I want it to be part of our program moving forward. And I think it definitely was a great time to recognize a hell of a coach, great coach, and even a better person.
Oh, Coach, it was awesome. It was awesome. It was good to see. The outcome was absolutely perfect. It was a red ass moment is what it really came down to. Are you new to the monkey butt family, Coach, or is this something that you guys just stumbled on? Because we're a monkey butt family down here. We've been using that stuff for years.
Monkey. I don't know if we're monkey butt family, but it's definitely it's used at the McCarthy house. That's for sure.
It's a cooling, calming kind of thing.
Yeah, no doubt. It's definitely the preferred. I think living in Wisconsin, is where for 15 years is where you tend to learn more about those things.
Yeah, you get a little chafing up there.
Great product down here.
Down here, it's a little swampy, a little moist
different.
up there. It's a chafing issue, from my experience. He was head coach Mike McCarthy, chafe-free from his monkey butt use. Let's talk a little bit about the maintenance of a team. You guys come off a big win and you come into the biggest game of the weekend. What does it mean to the team? We know what it means to fans. I mean, this is the circled game. We've been looking forward to this for a month. How do you approach the game when we know what it means to us, but for you guys, it's a game in the middle of the season?
Yeah, and I think you just have to, stay true to, your goal and your building blocks, trust the process and, all part of handling success coming off of a big win. And really this game is going to be about really staying true to your team identity. And this is a game that if I was sitting at home, I would definitely, this be the game I'd watch. And I mean, I think you're going to see two heavyweights go at it on Sunday afternoon in Kansas City. So with two great quarterbacks, and it's just, you love these kind of games, but the routine of it all and really what comes after it too, that's my responsibility just to be cognizant of it. And but yeah, this is going to be a fun game, a great game to compete in.
When you're dealing with a team with a game with two explosive offenses, define to me what you think when you see a big play opportunity. What is that? When define your mindset when you think this is the time to make a big play. How do you know when that is?
It's not really this is the time. I mean, it's the opportunities that are created, and I think like anything, there's some just basic situations that you put the players in, and more so than not. I mean, if a player on offense has the ball with 5 yards of separation, one-on-one separation with a defender, that's a big play opportunity. It's because we put the player, whether it's the throw or the run, the player's in a position to make that defender miss. Because we all keep track. We all have the statistical breakdown.
Right. That's what I'm curious. Are you chasing a metric?
Big play passes, but just like anything, you got to create. If you want to have more big play runs or more big play passes, you got to create more opportunities. So, just something I've always kept track of, and it really goes back to my quarterback coaching days. It's easy for me to pick up a stat sheet and say, "Hey, we didn't have enough big plays. We're not doing a good enough job of big plays." But you got to take it a couple steps further. You got to look at the schemes. You got to look at the offense schemes, the defense. Or are we really giving our players this opportunity to make those plays? And then on the flip side of it, we all got to have discipline, the play caller and the quarterbacks and the guys handling the ball to not chase big plays, because that's all part of the discipline. So it's just like anything. It's just no different than takeaways. You want to take the ball away more from the offense, then you got to be in position through your hustle and pursuit to take away the football. So we've always charted the opportunities, and I coach more of the opportunities than I actually do the results.
Awesome.
Because, to get your results up, you obviously need more opportunities, not to be redundant.
Yeah, maybe I'm biased, Coach, down in this region, but the theme this week is like, well, this is a great test for the Cowboys, but it's a great test for the Chiefs. I mean, y'all are playing pretty damn well.
I like the way you're thinking.
You know what I'm saying? I'm like, wait a minute now.
Yeah.
Like the Cowboys are playing pretty well. Isn't it a good test for the Chiefs? Like, I'm lost, but I guess I get caught up in all this national media stuff, Coach. But I don't know. Is that what you think?
No, I agree with you, but I do understand the national media. I mean, the Chiefs have been doing it at a high level for 3 or 4 years, and we're a little bit like the new kids on the block, and so hey, that's part of it. But it's being in tune with how we're playing and our opportunity in front of us. We a lot of things we've done this year, but we also are cognizant that we have area for improvement. So, and that's why I tell you, this football team I'm coaching here now, I mean, the way they work and the way they stay dialed in through the week, and and so we just need to take that good prep week and pour it into this contest, because this is going to be a heck of a football game. So, and I know our guys are looking forward to it.
I know we don't get into scheme much, Coach, but
we will.
When you talk about a guy like Tyreek Hill, you talk about a guy like Trayvon Diggs. Is Tyreek Hill a team defensive assignment, or is that like, hey, I trust Diggs, you're going with where Tyreek goes, or is that like a team defensive assignment?
Well, I think you have to look at it, as a unit assignment. You're always, defense is so much about playing to your leverage, playing to your help, and and that'll definitely be the case in Tyreek's situation, because his ability to score from anywhere on the field is unique. He has the speed, he has the quickness, he has a great competitive spirit,
right.
Yards after the catch. So I would definitely, team would be there.
I want to take it one step further, Coach. Tyreek's one thing, but in my experience, middle of the field is much more important. And you got Kelsey running in the middle of the field. Let's talk about how you bracket and defend a guy like him, because the separator to me on this offense, I think, has always been Kelsey. And
I agree with you. I think that when you have the player, particularly from that position, the tight end position, that has a chance to really change the way teams look at you. Because when you have the middle of the field weapon, which Kelsey is, I've been so impressed with him this week. Just sitting there, watching all his targets throughout the year, and what he's done throughout his career. But obviously his instincts and connection that he has with Patrick is top notch. But his yards after the catch so productive. He's a big target, soft hands, but he's really slippery, and breaks a lot of tackles, and he's a north and south player.
Mm-hmm.
So he definitely commands the middle of the field. So that when you have that component, that in my experience, that changes the stress of the defense more than anything.
Are Pollard and Zeke chomping at the bit? On paper, it looks like it could be a big week for them. But again, you brought up your play caller and Dak. I've heard Peyton Manning talk about, defense is daring you to do things. What kind of week was it for Pollard and Zeke? As like, again, on paper, it looks like this could be a big game for them.
Well, no, they've had a good week. I think Zeke is Zeke runs so hard. He's so damn physical. I mean, it's sometimes it takes him to Wednesday to kind of get back to where he's feeling normal again. But I think this week he's been he's having a really good week that way. So I love our 1-2 punch with those two guys. It gives us great flexibility, and they both have had a very good week.
Tyron going to lead the way?
Excuse me?
Tyron going to lead the way?
Tyron had come out of yesterday. Had a chance to speak to him after practice. He felt good. The goal was for him to see if he can practice all 3 days and then make the decision. So I haven't seen him yet this morning because I'm tied up on this this great phone call.
Wow, that was a lot of sarcasm in there, Coach.
No, shoot. I mean,
real quick.
Big Red, I mean, you kidding me?
2.3 seconds has been the mantra around there. Tell me what you can do in 2.3 seconds in bracketing Pat Mahomes.
I hope to God we have him bracketed by 2.3. Just look at it. It's just the way I've always coached the sequence of a play. You have the pre-snap, and then you have the post-snap of the play up to 2. If you take the post-snap of a football play at 2.3, whether you're running or throwing it, it's the play is pretty much at its point of establishment. If the play goes above 2.3, you're in an extended play situation. So meaning in the pass game, a scramble is going to start, or the receiver has the ball and he's, trying to break tackles, and so that we emphasize, we practice really emphasize the above the 2.3, because that's where a lot of the big money is. We talk about big plays, and
right?
The opportunities, and so it all falls in line with that teaching progression. So, and Patrick Mahomes, I mean, you'll see him at times. Normal drops 9 yards deep, which you want him, but you'll see him go 10, 12 yards deep and try to set those ends real high, so he can step up and try to make those A and B gaps bigger for him to escape. So, he's a real threat, probably the biggest threat we've seen this year as far as the scramble and throw component of it, about the 2.3 seconds.
I know this is a kind of a philosophy question. It might be one more better suited for Coach Quinn, but would you rather bracket a quarterback and have guys covered and have him back there just looking and hoping for a mistake, or would you rather flush and force a decision, have somebody on his tail quickly and maybe sacrifice a bit of coverage downfield?
Well, I think the one characteristic you got to put in there is how you flush him. If you can flush him to his right or left right now, that favors more the defense than the offense. But if he can step up and come out through the A and B gaps and come out that way, then it's a bigger stress on the defense. So that's first part of the question. But I think you want to keep him in the pocket the best you can, just because his ability to get out of the pocket and then move the coverage element, then really stress the plastering of the DBs on the on the receivers, and hell, he can go to his right or left and throw completely across the field too. So so you have a whole different element with his range of ball placement.
Coach, I need y'all to get this one. Chiefs fans are getting on my nerves. I need this one. For me,
right.
win one for us, Coach.
Hey, there's a lot on the line. We got barbecue, we got Whataburger, we got a lot of stuff going on the externals here, Coach. We appreciate you stopping by today. Go see how Tyron's feeling. We appreciate your time. Coach McCarthy joins us every Friday. Have a good game this week, and we bid you safety and health. We'll talk to you next Friday.
All right, great. Thank you, man.
All right.
Coach Mike McCarthy joining us as he does every Friday. Hey, let's go wash our hands, get ready for a big show. It's time for R&R, the real edition. We'll be right back with it.
Sports Center is brought to you by Kielbasa Slow Crafted Sausage, available at your local grocery stores.
The San Antonio Spurs fell to the Minnesota Timberwolves last night, 115-90. Karl Anthony Towns scored 25 points and grabbed 12 rebounds to send the Spurs to their fourth loss in a row. The Austin Spurs were victorious over Mexico City, 99-91. Spurs assignment player Josh Primo finished with 11 points, 4 blocks, and 2 steals. The UTSA Roadrunners host the UAB Blazers tomorrow for a chance to secure the West Division Championship in Conference USA. Kickoff is at 2:30. Be sure to pack the dome. And tonight, the Dallas Mavericks play against the Phoenix Suns at 9. Luka Doncic is expected to miss his second game in a row as he recovers from a left ankle sprain. The team has listed the star Slovenian as day-to-day. For San Antonio Sports Star, I'm Carl Schoening.
Fever is the leading symptom of COVID and the flu, and the only way to reliably detect fever is with an accurate thermometer. Be vigilant and be accurate with the Exergen Temporal Scanner, proven in more than 100 clinical studies. Don't rely on non-contact thermometers. They are proven to be inaccurate and will not reliably detect a fever that might mean COVID. Be sure to seek medical advice at the first sign of fever. Learn more at Exergen.com.
When you need an electrician, Hill Electric is available 24/7 for residential and commercial needs. If you're having to rework your office, let Hill Electric design your socially distanced space to ensure each workstation has the proper electrical needs. For over 35 years, the family-owned Hill Electric has served San Antonio. There is never a service charge and always free estimates. Call Hill Electric at 210-404-9074. That's 404-9074, or go to hill-electric.com.
'Twas the season of cheer, and joy filled the town, except for Scrooge with his perma-frown. The gift of a Peloton bike touched his soul without doubt. When your workout's a joy, it's a joy to work out. This Black Friday, get the original Peloton bike at our best holiday price ever, $1,495. All access membership separate. Terms apply. See website for details.
Are you ready for Diamonds Direct's biggest and final store-wide sale of 2021? It's this weekend. 3 days of extra savings store-wide. I'm talking an extra 20% off all earrings, all bracelets, all bands, all pendants, all fashion jewelry.